try to do it. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Roman. I'm from Ukraine. I work as a product analyst for almost 2.5 years. I work in a company called Bini Games. We create mobile game application for preschool children. So if I can help you with your question about starting career in data analytics, about data analysis, I would like to do it and to help you.
Sure. I'd love to hear from you and your insights, and I appreciate that. So thanks actually for taking the time to do this. I have some experience in data analytics. I've been enthusiast of data since I can remember, even though I wasn't aware of it by then. But yeah, I like data, and I did not study data or anything like this in college. So I have an education background in business, but I have some experience, as I told you, with data analytics, and I started more and more interested in this. Then I decided to prepare by myself and to have some courses, some boot camps, and short training, technical trainings to have a career, to start building a career in data analytics. And the some of the recent job opportunities I've had helped me explore the industry of data analytics. However, I'm currently trying to find a new job in Spain, and it seems that the market is a little bit different. So basically, what I want to do is to go over my resume, my CV, to see well your your thoughts on this resume, and also to hear your ideas on how what would be the best approach for me to have um, a career in data analytics, but here in Spain now.
Okay. So do you have for now some questions, some specific questions that we can discuss except resume?
Well, actually, I read the links you sent in advance. Well, some of them, and also saw some of the recordings on your YouTube channel. So most of the questions I had were covered in those links or the videos, but maybe things like the best playgrounds or platforms where I can find data sets and find either guided step-to-step projects or also projects that I can do on myself. And maybe I have experience and I can show my experience either in a technical interview, but I would also like to have some sort of portfolio, which I don't have at the moment. So would also be my questions about the portfolio ideas and the best way to showcase my skills, because the things I've done in work are not things that I can share as experience just because they are somehow but they belong to the companies or startups I've worked for, and I cannot show that type of info.
Okay. Yeah, let's go step by step. So the best platform for data set for ideas about pet projects for me, it is Kaggle. I think you're familiar with it. Yeah, it is the most common for this. So it's depends on you. You have to just think what type of data you wanted to use, what domain you're interested in more, and then try to search there. There are no such way as a step-by-step projects. But if this is, but if you find some popular data set, there are a section like code in here in every data set, and if some data set is very popular, a lot of people or some people already created some projects, created some analysis with this data set, and you can at least look on this. So what are the people what they created or with this data set, and it's like you can learn it by looking at it, learning by repeating their steps, learning by reading their conclusions, their comments, so some title of sections and so on. So for me, it is the best approach. Also, I think I know it's in a lot of countries there are like initiative like open government initiatives where like government or like state government or local governments, they publish some open data set that connected to some cities, some countries. I think in Spain you can try to search some like open go data go by these keywords. You can find, I think, some data set, and it will be, if you wanted to find a job, especially in Spain, you can use some data about, I don't know, some society, some demographic situation, some changes with, I don't know, GDP stuff, and so on and so forth. So it will be like locally connected to your country, and it may be interesting if you also find some topics that you're interested about.
Okay, so that in terms of the data type, but in terms of specific skills that I may want to show in a portfolio, what do you think companies are trying to look for? I've also done some research, like
Mm-hmm.
market research and
Mm-hmm.
research on what the companies are expecting from new employees, but then uh, I also may assume that it depends on the type of company. If it is business, then it'll be most about business analytics, and then if it is any other company, or but there may be still an overlap in the specific skills they're looking for and those skills that I also need to showcase in a portfolio. So maybe if you had to create your own portfolio, what would you focus on, uh, despite the data sets that you're using?
Yeah, it depends on the some specific of the companies. Especially, I like to look at the product. So what's the product that or service that this company created? For example, I like game development. I love this industry, and I would like, if I would like to switch my job to other company, it also have to be game dev company, and especially connected to mobile games, because it's like something that I work with and I'm some kind of expert with. So if we talk about companies that created their own product, for example, mobile application. There are like stuff like okay, let's talk about common stuff. So almost in every position, a data analyst position, you have to know SQL, because like every database, it's connected to different dialect of SQL. It is Google BigQuery or AWS or Postgres and so on and so forth. So SQL, it's like most typical skills that you have to know. Also, after this, it's data visualization, and it is like two most popular tools is Power BI and Tableau. Third one will be, I think, Google Data Studio or Looker. But I think this first two, Tableau and Power BI, is the most common. So a lot of companies looked at it and wanted to have data analysts who already work with this stuff. Also, it will be, of course, knowledge of statistics, because the data analysts work with a large amount of data, and you have to know how to work with this data, how to work with outliers, how to work with aggregations, and so on and so forth. Then maybe it's Python, because it's also can be valuable for you, but only after, in my priority list, it is only after like SQL, data visualization, and so forth. It's very useful when you work with some routine task. You can like write some scripts, and then the scripts will work for you a lot of times, but it also will be valuable. And then this stuff that I talk about, connection to the product. For example, if you work in companies that work on B2C sector, so business to customer, For example, we created mobile games. There are millions of people who use our app, and I have to know A/B testing because it is very valuable when you have a lot of customers, when you have some product that you can develop in some way, for example, change some design, change some algorithm, and so on. You have to know A/B testing. In case of some companies that doesn't have their own product, or they don't work on B2C market, A/B testing may be not so valuable, not so necessary, like this. And also there can be some specific tasks, specific skills. For example, some company may want to, there are like data analysts and data engineers. Data engineers is someone who work with like data pipeline, so how our data goes from, for example, third-party service to our database. And sometimes company wanted to have just one position that combine data analyst and data engineering skills in it. But it's not obviously to have some, it's not necessary, I think, to have some knowledge with data engineer and data analyst, but you have to be prepared for it that there can be in job requirements. But in my view, also product metrics, it's also very valuable because if this company have their own products, their own applications, their own e-commerce sites, their own desktop application, you have to work with some product metrics, and you have to know how you can count it, how you can help to increase good metrics, decrease bad metrics, and so on. So in my view, it is like knowledge of SQL, knowledge of BI systems, knowledge of statistics, knowledge of Python, knowledge of product metrics, and maybe knowledge of A/B testing if this company have like a lot of customers and have their own product.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
But it depends. It depends on the domain. Also, domain knowledge is also very valuable, but it is too hard to receive very quickly some domain knowledge without knowing what domain you wanted to go. Yeah, because in medtech, edtech, game dev, and so on, there are a lot of different domain knowledge that you can receive, and it is better to, my advice, pay more attention to these hard skills, this knowledge how to use some tools and so on, but not to the domain skill knowledge, because if you already understood, if you already received some offer in some domain, you have to very quickly try to receive this domain knowledge, but it will be not effectively, in my view, to like to try to receive a lot of different domain knowledge in case that you may receive some offer from some of the company. So pay attention more to hard skill at the beginning and to this domain knowledge afterwards. For example, when I received my offer in game development, to be honest, I didn't know about mobile gaming almost anything. But yeah, I understood that, okay, for now I will be working in a game development company. I have to learn a lot about games, about mobile games, about some specific, about product metrics and so on. And I try to receive this knowledge very quickly. But I'm not prepared to like, so, oh, I wanted to go only in mobile game development company and so on. But I work on my SQL skills, Power BI skills, statistics skills, and so on. Also, I forgot Excel and Google Spreadsheet. It's also valuable because if you have not so large data set, you can quickly provide some analytics with help of these tools. Yeah, so you have to know it. But for me, I have a degree in civil engineering, and at the university we work a lot with this tool. So for me, it's like using a laptop and so on. It's not some tools that I like working a lot for switching to data analytics, because I already work with this. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also very, very valuable. You can provide a lot of analysis just in Excel or Google Spreadsheet without using Python or Power BI.
Yes, exactly. I've heard and also from experience that many people use Excel for
Mhm.
data visualization and for reporting.
Yeah, yeah.
So they prepare maybe the analysis and the yeah, basically the data preparation stuff in SQL, and then when they have to present their insights to and to report their insights to their team leaders, then they use um, Excel.
Yeah, I use Google Spreadsheet a lot because it's very easy to share between my team. We have like one document in the cloud, and if I share to someone, this person can edit something, and I see this changes and so on. Yeah, so it's much more quicker than like for example in Python. It will be very so. I create some visualization. I have to like download this picture, this graph, then sent in some documents and so on. In case if I wanted to like ask answer some question quickly to some like product manager or some stakeholder, I can quickly do it in Google Spreadsheet without any fancy tools.
Sounds good. Yeah, I had yeah, a question in interviews and in this job hunting process or phase. Uh, do you think they pay more attention to your experience, to your education or training, to your portfolio? What is the main focus for them for like for
Mm,
hiring teams and
yeah,
companies?
we talk about person who didn't have previous experience in data analytics, right? So it will be the first job in data analytics.
So I'm still in that position, even though I've had like 1.5 years of experience in data analytics, but still I feel that there are some gaps or I'm lagging behind a little bit. So I feel I'm still in an entry level position or very junior positions,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like
So
I'm not starting from scratch or
mhm,
starting
mhm,
from scratch. I do have experience, but I still have to apply for an entry level position or a junior position, especially also because I'm working now in the experience I've had is not in Spain, so maybe
mhm,
they can value that experience, but it still won't be the same thing because also there are maybe some dynamics that change from country to country or
mhm,
company to
mhm.
company.
Yeah, I think on this hiring process, it is all stuff that people that like in recruiter and hiring manager pay attention. Of course, your portfolio, because how can like you new person for them, how can they understand what your current level of SQL of Python, how you could you create some dashboards in Tableau or Power BI? Of course, it's your portfolio project that could show them that you really have the skills, you really have this knowledge, and so on. Of course, your answers on the question, especially technical question, maybe some question that connected to your working process, how you deal with, I don't know, like with the conflicts, or it's more soft skills, or how what will be your process when you will start new tasks, new dashboards, and so on. Also, it is very valuable, except portfolio, very valuable how you solve a home test assignment, because every company, like in portfolio stuff, you created something that you was interested about, but in home test assignment, company give you some problems, some tasks that you will have in future from day to day in this current position. So they wanted to see how good you can solve it, if you really have this necessary skill that will help you with it. Yeah, so it is like common stuff there. I don't have someone like silver bullet that you can do only this, and it give you the maximum of your increase your chance a lot. It's connected. There are like hiring funnel, and on every of this funnel stage you have to think on some task. Of course, your CV your cover letter, your portfolio, it will be your LinkedIn page, it will be helpful on the first stage when you apply in some position and you wanted to receive invitation from recruiter. After this, if you received invitation for pre-screen or behavior interview from recruiter, your CV, your LinkedIn, your portfolio, they don't really matter a lot on this after this stage. So they done their job. They help you to receive this invitation. Then on behavior interview, it is your answers that will be the most valuable, that help you to go to receive an invitation for technical interview. On technical interview, of course, how you answer on this will be much more helpful for receiving the next step. It's different from company to company. And then the final one, how you solve home test assignment, it will be like the major one. So on every step, this you have to understand what can help you to go on the next stage. But your portfolio and your CV and so on, they stopped almost on the first stage, in my view.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Do you have some question?
No, not right now. But what I did want and still want to do is to go over the CV. Maybe you can take a look at it and see if there's something
Yeah.
you change.
Can you share it? There like this present button, and you can share it.
Okay, sure. I will do that. Just a sec, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sorry for the
No
wait.
problem. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you see it now?
Okay. Yeah, I can. Oh, you have the same template than I have. It's on
Then you do?
Canva. Yeah. I have that's almost the same. Cool.
Okay. Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. Okay. Let's your contact page. I would like to add LinkedIn there.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's stop here. Profile. Can you tell about like data camp, because I'm for now also like studying on data camp. It's not some program you just like switch choose some tracks, for example data analyst track, and you finish some courses on it. or there, because it's like when I heard like bootcamp, in my view, it is some program with tutors for a couple of months and so on and so forth.
Data camp is self-paced, and as far as I know, doesn't have like video tutorial. Well, it does have video tutorials, but it is asynchronous, meaning that you can do it at your own pace, and there are not like interactive classes. You just have to follow the program, complete the exercises, the challenges that you are presented, and you have also, like you said, um, career tracks and then skills tracks. The difference is that career tracks, they encompass different let's say components or segments. So you have some technologies or software or languages like SQL, Python, and also even communication or visualization, statistics. So it is like a more complete or thorough program than if it is skill track. It is only focused on one
Yeah,
technology
yeah, I
or.
know, I know, I know. I'm already like learning on it, but I don't know. It's like it sounds too like this too prestigious US coding bootcamp, but it's like the same stuff as Coursera or Udemy or so on. If I don't know if there is on your education section, maybe it's not necessary. In my view, I will not. What is New Camp? Because I don't know, never heard about it.
Okay, New Camp is a different boot camp, so nothing to do with it. It is more for software development, so it is front end and back end. So I also
Mm.
completed this one. But then
That's
you're suggesting to exclude this part?
remove. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As you already like mentioned, data camp on your education stuff. It's not so. In my view, it is not so much valuable to add it to the profile section.
Okay, but only the names in parentheses or the entire line?
The entire line.
Okay, so the starting from leveraging a solid foundation gains zero.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more in profile. It's more about you. You already mentioned it that you're like learning some stuff from data camp, but like you say it twice. I don't know. I don't see a lot of like value in it, to be honest.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, work experience. Python analysis together in percentages. Scale characteristics. It's hard with this like design over 250 ad hoc SQL queries and so on. My first question will be, you really count it? Because, for example, I don't know how many queries, how many ad hoc queries I created in my 2.5 years, because there are a lot of them, but I never like 1, 2, 3, never counted. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
It's cool that you wrote about this increase, the 50% increase in client retention, uh, but it's hard to understand what you mean by client retention, to be honest.
In, well, it is a performance index, company performance index or indicator, and I did not measure this increase. But what I'm pointing is that the projects that I worked on helped or contribute to this increase in client rotation. So this is something that I did not measure directly, but
Yeah, but it's not, maybe it's the result of work of all team, not only your stuff. For example, if I launch A/B tests that help me to increase retention, I don't know, like 3% and so on, it's partly my job to like design A/B test, launch A/B test, analyze it, and so on. But still, like in this case, and also even in this case of A/B tests, in product manager design this feature, and so I don't know if this 15% is your contribution to the company, or this contribution of the whole team, and you just mention it.
Yes, exactly. So
Mhm.
it is a project I worked on, and it contributed to this increase. But of course, it was work team, and it
Mhm.
was not just me, but it did contribute to the overall increase. So what we did, and many of the projects, and including analysis and reporting and presentations, all led to the final result, which is the increase in client retention. But it was just not me
Mhm. Mhm.
or my work.
Mhm. Mhm.
And actually the same for
Mhm.
all the
Yeah, yeah.
metrics. For all the
Mhm.
metrics, like number 3 and 4 are the same.
Mm, is there also any stuff that you only you could tell that it's your achievements? For example, maybe you created some dashboards that help the product team to follow the metrics and so on. So maybe stuff. Think it's just for you to think, but it's for me. It is better to look here some your achievements. Maybe they will be not so huge. Maybe not 15% and so on, but so some less, but it will be really your stuff.
Okay, and that does it matter if they are not measurable? Because I've
Mm,
read that if the insights of the bullet points you are included in your in your CV are measurable, then they are more valuable to the company you're applying
Yeah,
for.
of course, it is always better to have some numbers, to have some percentage. But for me, it is better to add some your real achievements, even if it will be without numbers, than just the like whole team achievements. Because it
Sorry,
is
can
like it's look
it,
like,
it
yeah, I work with the team and we received these results. But for now, this company will hire only you, on not the whole team, and it will be like a question if this really you can help them to achieve all for the same results. But if you can show your achievements, for example, like creating dashboards that helps ads monetization team to follow some metrics and so on, it will be true, and it will be like stuff that you can multiply on this company, this value that you can bring to the other company.
okay, yeah, that
And
makes sense
also with it,
because when
yeah, with this, oh, so sorry for interrupting. With this stuff like 250 ad hoc SQL queries, it's like numbers that couldn't tell me anything. I don't know. In a year, for example, 250 ad hoc SQL queries in a year, it is a large amount or a little amount, and so on. It's can help me to understand anything, to be honest.
so what how would you do it differently,
I
or
try
what would
to
be
yeah,
your suggestion?
I try to remember from these 250 SQL queries, so on, what will be like the most valuable. What could you help, for example, like helping marketing team to understand, for example, in our in my case, to understand characters that perform best for their marketing campaign, and so on. So it's like some. It's try to remember some ad hoc analysis that you created for someone in your team, and try to see what value you bring for this. It's not 250 ad hoc that's matter a lot, but it's some value that you bring from this. But still, I understood that it is hard. For example, I also use like a line that I provide more than 200 A/B tests. But it's for more for people to understood that I understand that I work with A/B tests in mobile games. I know how to design it, how to launch it, how to analyze it, and so on. in your case, this 250 ad hoc queries, it's all the could tell information that you work with SQL, and that's all. And it's this stuff. So my advice is try to remember some value that you bring to the team during your work as the data analyst.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, in this business intelligence analyst collection department. What do you mean by reducing processing time by 20%? It's you work with some database and so what's the value of after this? So you have to wait like 20% less time for receiving some results, or it's something that scale on the whole company that your customer don't have to wait like 20% more and so on.
Basically the teams were able to do the same job in a shorter period of time. So processes were shortened by 20%.
What's the team? Data analyst team, product management team? Who is
No,
the
it was billing team,
Mm-hmm.
the billing team. So after our work and our suggestions, like data driven suggestion analysis and suggestions, then they were able to complete the same jobs and tasks in less time. So the processing time was reduced by about 20%.
Can you translate this 20% to, for example, in a week we have typically 40 hours of working. So how many hours, for example, or what percentage of this work week you help reducing? For example,
Yeah, for
for
example,
now. Mhm,
if they did a task in an hour, then after
mhm,
this they would do it in 48 minutes,
mhm.
which is 20%.
And how many hours they spend during these tasks that you can that you help them to reduce during a week? So is it like 50 minutes that you help to reduce, or it is like if 1 hour every day? And so you follow, yeah? Well, what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it right now I don't have the amount of
Approximately.
time,
Approximately.
but yeah,
Mhm,
for example, if it was quarter, if this process or tasks were up to a quarter of what their normal day-to-day at work would be, so then it
mhm,
is let's say 10 hours a week or so.
mhm, mhm, mhm. So yeah, it is better to show this not only by because in percentage I can't understand. So with it maybe they work only one they could work on this kind of task only 1 hour a week and you help to reduce only 15 minutes. It's not so big. But if it's like something that they work every day and you have to reduce, I don't know, like 2 hours, 3 hours, so the more hours you have to reduce during the work week, it will be much better. At least someone who reads this could understand value, because like 15 minutes a week, it's not so like big achievements, but I don't know, 4 hours a week, it's much bigger. So we have like 40 hours week, and it's like if you can measure like this reducing by this how much of this 40 hours week, it will be much more understandable in my view.
Okay,
Okay,
makes sense.
improved bad debt collected efficiency by data-driven strategy. Also, I couldn't understand what you mean by debt collection efficiency. It's just I'm not in this domain. Yeah, and it is hard to understand really what is the achievements.
Yes, yeah, I know, but I also understand your point. So maybe I'm focusing on the result, but not exactly on what I did to lead to this result. So basically,
Also,
like
yeah.
through our
Mhm,
analysis and our reports and insights, like the conclusions and suggestions we pass to their corresponding teams, which is like data driven strategies, then they were able to implement certain changes, and those changes improved but debt collection, and the team, like the entire team became more efficient, and it was at around 12%.
mhm.
But yeah, I understand that I have like to restructure these bullet points
Yeah,
to
it's have to be
showcase the
yeah it's have
result
to be
different.
something it's have to be something that hiring manager or recruiter could read and under and translate to their company, because for now I like improved some metrics by 20%, and I couldn't understand what this metric. You could understand it because you work on this, you're in this domain, and so on. And if someone read it without knowledge of this domain, it will be hard to understand. Is it good enough? Is it metrics that connected only in database, or is it metrics that like have impact on the whole business and so on? So it have to be simpler in my view, to understand what you really did in here. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Streamlined financial report in real-time dashboards using advanced Excel. Okay, collaborated with cross-functional team, enhanced communication channels, between conflicts, maximum efficiency. Mm. Also, it is in a very abstract way, especially like the last two bullet points.
They are abstract, you said?
Yeah. Because it is almost every position you have to collaborate with cross-functional teams, enhancing communication channel and team productivity. It's
Okay.
not
Yeah,
so, it's
that's
not
more
so,
like
so something specific. Yeah.
yeah, that's more like soft skills. So
Mm-hmm.
what I tried to do was to focus on hard skills for the first three bullet points,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes
and the
sense.
same with the previous one, and then for the two others, like to complement with soft skills that I also had to use during my experience in this company, and that I'm just pointing out.
Okay. About the project, I couldn't see any link on these projects, and
Okay.
also with this, like it's first one, it's some projects for data camp. It's some curated projects, as I understood. Yeah. So there are some data sets, some ideas that already like created for you, and you have like go step by step and receive some data, so some results, right? It's not something that you created by your own. You generate idea, you tried some hypothesis, you have some conclusions about it, and so on. Could you tell more about it?
Yeah, no, so it wasn't guided. It wasn't guided, but um we did have some questions to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we're given the tasks, and we had to complete them using the knowledge and the skills we had acquired through the program, through the course. But it was not like I had the data sets and basically I could explore and do with them whatever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, or it was not, yeah, it was not like that. It was not me who had creative freedom to do with the data what I wanted. I just received the data, and I had the data sets, and I had to answer the questions I was given.
In my view, it is better to have your own project because it is like a little bit artificial situation when you have data set here your data set, here's a question you have to answer and so on. In real life, it will be not so. In real life, your product manager, for example, asks you, could you tell me why our conversion dropped this month? And that's all. And you have to dig by yourself or even without questions or something like this. So you have to dig by yourself and so on. Also, it can like show your interest in this, show how you can generate some hypotheses and so on and so forth. In my view, it is always better to create your own portfolio projects, just to like choose some topics, choose some ideas, and try to answer it with the help of data, but not with this. With data camp, but it's like this. It's wonderful platform, but it is kind of artificial. It's not connected to the real world because there are like very clean data, there are like very strict question and like answers that are right or wrong. In real life, it is not always in this way.
No, okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Also,
Understood.
yeah. Also, with this Preply, it is like you help with Spanish, right? You're as a tutor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like mm, it's not the stuff that people look in data analyst resume. Yeah, it can help you in the future. For example, when you will grow on your career, you can help like your junior colleagues to teach them, to explain, and so on. It is wonderful soft skills that can be valuable. But in my view, on this field, it is better to use it for some other projects that connected to data analytics.
Okay. Got it.
Mhm.
Good.
Also about in this language, this language section about French. Can you provide work communication in French?
If I can provide work communications in
Yeah.
French.
For example, we like your future company will receive a client from France, and they ask you to provide some analysis and talk in French with these clients. Is it possible for now, with your current knowledge of French?
Mm, well, it depends to which extent I will need the language. If it
So
is,
to explain analysis, to receive some questions, so to like have some work meeting, have some communications about like some their data sets and so on. So what's my point is, if this like I could understood like in this marks, like you know Spanish wonderfully, you know English wonderfully, like you're fluent in these both languages, and what's mean like two marks in French? Is it how bad, how good? Is it intermediate, upper intermediate, pre-intermediate, advanced, or so on? It is very hard, and it is not so good to use these marks with language. So it is better to use it as an international system, like B1, B2, C1, C2, A1, A2. It is better than or just intermediate, pre-intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced, and so on, but without these marks because it is hard. I could understand what is French. It is A or it is A2, A1, B1, and so on. I would like to switch it, recommend to switch it. And if you couldn't provide a work meeting in French, I don't. My advice is not to write there because it doesn't make sense. For example, I
okay.
learn Polish, I learn German, but I couldn't speak with someone who is native in these languages, and I never show it in my CV because it is like for what? I just can say some sentences from Duolingo, and that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Uh-huh. Interest, sport, housework, literature. Okay. Can you show it upper? Skills and education. In my view, I will, for example, in my CV, I use in skills only technical stuff. For example, SQL, Excel, Python, Power BI, spreadsheet, and so on. Because like you mentioned Power BI and you mentioned data visualization, dashboards, and reports. For me, it is if you already know Power BI, it means that you work with data visualization, data dashboards, and so on. You talk that you know PowerPoint. It means that you like your presentation skills. It's a little bit different, but still. I think so. It's my position. I wrote in skills only hard skills, and you don't have to mention your soft skills. You have to show it during your interview. So you're saying that you're like good in communication and presentation. So okay, on your interview, you have to present yourself to the recruiter or to hiring manager. You have to like sell yourself to them. For example, you talk about time management. If you like will be like 5 minutes late on job interview, it said more about you, about your time management skills than stuff that you want, because everyone write good stuff about themselves in skills, about soft skills. Everyone says that they are like detail oriented, time management, and so on and so forth. So it is better, in my view, it is better to write about hard skills, especially because, for example, some ATS system application. I forgot how to mention T. Okay, it's like software that like parse some words from your CV. It is always better to have some technicals, so programming languages, tools, and so on. But about soft skills, I see it is better to showcase them during interview, not in this section, because everyone write good stuff about themselves here.
Okay. Okay, that also makes sense.
And about education, like this new camp, full stack software developer, I don't think it will be helpful for you, knowledge of HTML and so on in this case. It's even sometimes it's like bad stuff, because some recruiter may think that you already don't understood who you wanted to be, like full stack software or data analyst and so on. So if this resume for data analytics, I would like for you to dedicate full attention to data analytics. So without this prep list stuff, without this full stack software developer stuff and so on, because it is like almost never a chance that you could use HTML or CSS in your data analyst tasks.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's you have to understand that it's only my opinion and it is very subjective and so on. So but it is better, in my view, it is better to have this whole data set resume, full
Yeah, no,
attention
sure, sure.
only to data analytics.
Sure. No, and I actually appreciate that again. I appreciate it. That's why I wanted to. I mean, I reached out to you in the first place,
Uh-huh.
and again, I appreciate your time and what you're doing, like taking the time to discuss all of these things with me. So that's pretty much appreciated. And I just stopped sharing because I think we are almost running out of time. And
Uh-huh.
then we went through the entire TV. So I think you gave me insights and your opinion about all of the sections in the CV.
Uh-huh.
So I'll take that into consideration. I will do some changes so
Yeah,
I
and
can.
the main stuff for now, the main stuff is portfolio projects. It's something that lack in your CV for now, I think. So because this not created, but still projects from data camp is not fully your projects. It have to be something that you created by your own. So you have some data set, you try to think about it, try to research it, you create some hypotheses, you try to prove this hypothesis or disprove them, and so on. So it will be better to have your own portfolio projects, not something that, for example, I could create like the same projects within data camp, find it, and like some recruiter could receive a CV with both not the same projects, but still the same data set, the same questions that we have to solve, and maybe even the same answers, and so on. So it is better always to have unique portfolio, because it's something that can help you stand out among other candidates. And also it can show you that you're interested in some stuff. For example, maybe it will connected to your interests that you mentioned in CV. If it when you will explain about this project on some technical interview or behavior interview, it will be better. You even talk about it in different way, because it's something that you have passion about. So you never will talk with passion about projects that you created or from data camp. Yeah, because it's something like
But,
test.
by the way,
You
I'm
create.
also by the way, I'm also into running, and
Mhm,
I noticed in some of your articles and videos
mhm.
that you were into it as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
bro.
think I like sports stats as well. So maybe that's
Mhm.
I'll try and find some data sets in Kaggle that allow me
Yeah,
to do
yeah, cool, cool.
some
Also,
cool
if you
projects.
have some programs that track your running, like Strava or like runners or so, Garmin, maybe you can try to find a way to grab this data about yourself, and it will be like two advantages, because you created some portfolio projects that will be unique because it's only your data, and also you will receive some insights about your running, about like your some activity, maybe some months that you were very active and some that you were like not so active, and so on. So it will be also interesting to know something about yourself, and it will be 100% unique project. Nobody in the world could receive this data. So think about it if it's
And
possible. Yeah.
is it important the amount of data I'm dealing with? That is, the larger the data sets, the better, or not necessarily?
I do not necessarily. So of course it have to be like, I don't know, like 100 row points and so on, because it will be only 10 points. It will be you could receive some insights and so on. But it's not obviously have to be like very large, like thousands of rows and so on. So it's most valuable. It's insights that you could receive from this with the help of your analytic skill, but not the amount of these data sets.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you very much for for your time, for your insights. Really appreciate it, and I again will I'm not sure if possible to have a copy of the or a link to the video so I can also
Yeah,
rewatch the
yeah.
interview and
Yeah, of course.
take notes of the most
Mhm,
important things, because that's something I couldn't do, like taking notes, but
mhm.
would love to do that.
Yeah, deal. And feel free in future if you collect some other question, you can also reach to me and we could talk about it and review it again. So feel free in future to reach to me again. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Sure.
So deal. Have a nice evening. Yeah. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.